Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Mr. Xavier Arod. I'm going to be showing you a quick, nice little PC build that I came up with. You can check the link down in the description below. It's going to be like a starter build. It's going to be at a low cost. You can stream with it, but I think you might still come into struggles. But essentially, you will play all the latest, greatest games, medium, high settings. You should be able to stream. I wish I could just build the system and test it out myself, but I do believe you can stream because it has enough RAM for that. The only thing is I feel like the CPU is a little underpowered because it's going to be a Intel Core i3, but I'll explain more into detail with it. But again, you want to look at the list and update the list and change the list yourself to create something more to your liking. You're free to do so. This is just a suggestion, as well as you could also check out called PC Part Picker. Great website, highly recommend it. But let's go ahead and get onto it. So right here we have pcpartpicker.com. Highly recommend this website if you're trying to look for cheap new parts for PC. It goes ahead and matches all the other websites: Amazon.com, Newegg, Asus, NZXT, whatever website sells PC parts. This will compare all of it and show you the cheapest one and the sales and the coupons and everything like that. Highly recommend this website, really getting into PC building. First processor we're going with is the Intel Core i3-12100F 3.3 gigahertz quad-core processor. I highly recommend this processor for the price because we're trying to bring it down to that $650 price budget, and this is the only processor that can do it. Now, you can stream, you can play games medium high settings with this. And again, this is an entry-level build for you to start getting into those things. Now, if you really want to get into video editing and really want to get into streaming, you might have to upgrade this. I'm not going to lie to you and say that this is enough. No, you are going to have to upgrade this, but it can handle streaming. It can handle video editing. It's just not going to be proficient at those things, unlike other processors. But again, this is just to get you started, get you jumping into the games, get it playing with your friends who have PCs, and if they have PCs, or try to get your other friends to buy this PC. So it's up to you. These are just suggestions. This is up to you and what you want to buy. Next, for the motherboard, we're going to go with the Asus Prime 610M ED4 Micro ATX motherboard. Reason why we're going with this is because it has support for DDR4 memory, and I highly recommend you get DDR4 memory, and we'll talk about that next, coming up right now. However, this will lack in certain connections. You might be losing certain fan connections, but again, we're trying to bring it down to that low price budget. Not only that too, with the link down below, you could go ahead and change up the list, change up what you want to put in there, and see how much it costs and see if it works. This website will also automatically make sure that you have motherboards, connectors, and things like that that are compatible. Next, we're going to go with the Team Group T4 Zeus 16 gig DDR4 memory. It's two 8 gig sticks, DDR4 3200. I highly recommend the 3200 speed because that is fast and your computer will be more responsive. Everything will flow nice. And not only that, 16 gigs is just enough for video editing and to stream. 16 gigs will be that minimum requirement if you want to get into video editing and streaming. Next thing is we have the Western Digital Blue 500 gigabyte M.2 NVMe solid state drive. The reason why we went with this is because it's enough memory to get you started with the games that you want to store and things like that. And I didn't want to go with the hard drive because hard drives are slow. They can get messed up when you're moving the PC from place to place. And the NVMe M.2 is fast, and you're going to want this to be your main boot drive. That's the biggest thing, is main boot drive. You could also later on upgrade to a 1 terabyte, which is still cheap. Or heck, you can even change this into a 1 terabyte Western Digital or a 1 terabyte Samsung Evo, which I recommend the Samsung Evo. It's just faster. I just prefer the Samsung Evo in my opinion, but again, choice is yours. It's up to you. Now, this is going to be like the main thing you want to focus on and you really want to spend the most money on, is the RX 6600 from MSI. This will give you enough GDR6 memory to handle 2 monitors. You can do 3, but it will struggle if you're playing games with 3 monitors, but you can have 2 monitors with this, and you could also be able to play a lot of the games at medium high settings, high ultra settings. If you really want to, you can upgrade this to maybe a 2070 or 2080, those are really good graphics cards if you want to get that. But I went with the RX 6600 because again, we're trying to keep that price low. If you really want to go cheap on this and skimp out on the GPU, which I don't recommend because then you will struggle in certain games, but if you do, you can go ahead and get a 1660, 1650 Ti, 1080 Ti. You could get those, and those can. Now for the case, we're gonna go with a Fractal Design Focus G-ATX tower case. This case is great because one, it has the window. I know everybody wants the window, but two, it has very good ratings, and I went with this one. You can cheap out on this one, but I don't recommend cheaping out on a case because in my personal experience with cheap cases, you run into so many issues, like certain things not fitting. You need to cut certain metal parts inside the case because it doesn't fit the motherboard or it doesn't fit the IO or some stupid crap. That's why I went with this case. High rating case will fit everything and has room for upgradability as well. Now lastly, your power supply is going to be a Thermaltake Smart 500 watt 80 plus certified. Any power supply you get, you want it to be 80 plus certified because that just shows that it's proficient and it's the industry standard when it comes to computer building and computers in general. Anything without an 80 plus, you might run into problems like wattage shortage, electric surges, and things like that that could just fry your motherboards and take the whole system with it. And the Thermaltake Smart 500 watt is just enough power to supply all the parts for this build in particular. If you want to upgrade a CPU, you will have to change out your power supply. The new CPUs now are more power hungry than they were before. I don't know why, but they just are. Same with the graphics card. Graphics cards are more power hungry. So if you try to upgrade your graphics card or CPU, you are going to have to change the power supply. You can upgrade this power supply to a 650 watt or 750 watt. So that way you make sure you have enough upgradability room for later in the future. Highly recommend doing it that. But again, I'm trying to keep this build at $650. And this was the only way for me to do that. There you have it, guys. $650 build. Is this a PS5 killer? Yes, it is. You can do so much more with a PC than you can do with a PS5. And again, I'm not hating on people that have PS5s, but you could just do so much more with PC gaming. You could stream, you could play games with your friends, you can video edit, there's just so much. And I highly recommend you guys get into it. Now, I know what you're gonna say is that this is not $650, this is $665.74. Well, in order to get it down to that $650 price range, you will have to make certain sacrifices. So it's up to you if you can do the $665. It's only a $15 difference. I'm sure you could scrounge around $15 somehow. You can go to eBay, and eBay will have cheaper prices, but again, you got to remember that those prices are used prices and the items you will be receiving are used. Prices change every day. They're always fluctuating, especially on PC parts, and especially now with the whole cryptocurrency crash and everything. GPUs are dropping like crazy on price, even below MSRP. Sometimes you'll catch them. Keep looking, keep studying, keep finding parts at good prices, just so that way you could get it down at $650. You may even be able to even get it lower than $650. And if you can, then that's great. You just saved a lot of money and you just got a new computer. Thank you guys so much for watching and getting this far in the video. If you like the video, like the video. Dislike the video, dislike the video. Subscribe down below. There will also be a link below to the list. You could also edit it, make it to your liking. Have a great day.